welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Got a really cool project I'm working on here. I'm doing a rustic bar with a farm style or reclaimed wood style top. And the way I'm doing it is I got some 2x10s, and what I did was what you saw me doing on the table saw was ripping these down and jointing one edge of each so that we can glue these up. Use some pocket screws and some wood glue, join them together, and then this piece right here is going to be kind of like a backsplash to the bar. And then what I got as a stain is I have a container with vinegar, water, and some steel wool. And what that does is the vinegar and the water, it kind of inhibits rust and it makes it rust up faster, the steel wool. And what we're going to do is put some rubber gloves on. We'll take the steel wool and we'll scratch it all up with that rust on it, and that will work that into the wood, and that'll give us that kind of like reclaimed wood look that we're trying to go for here. And then we're going to beat it up with some chains. We'll take some a threaded bolt, we'll hit that with a hammer, and we'll make some nicks and dents and stuff like that, and we'll really get this thing looking like it's been out basically from a barn that was taken down. So we can do that, and then we'll finish it all off with some polyacrylic and really protect it, so that if it gets wet, it could just easily be wiped off and not damage the wood at all. And the bottom is going to be made from all black steel pipe. So that's going to be a pretty cool project, and some flanges and things like that. All right, so let's get started. Alright guys, so because this is going to be a bar top and we want it to be pretty much waterproof as possible, I'm not going to be using Titebond Type 1 because it's not waterproof. I'm going to be using Titebond 2, which is, you can see right on the side of the label here, it actually says water resistant. Okay, and it's a stronger, faster setting time. What I did was, this was finished, so since I had the empty bottle, I just poured it in here. So if you see me using this and you think I'm using Type 1, just remember, you got to use Type 2 because it's water resistant. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a bead of glue on this, and we're going to join it with the pocket screws. Now I'm going to just enough to keep it somewhat even while we drive in some screws. I'm using 2.5 inch pocket screws on this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate which side I'm putting the screw in, just to kind of keep it even. Alright guys, this is where we distress the wood a little bit, make it look a little rustic. So I'm just getting a chain here with some weights on it. I'm going to toss that around, scratch it up a little bit, hit it with a hammer, with a bolt, get some thread marks on there, and then we can apply that rustic vinegar water solution with the steel wool. Just take the chain, drop it around. Vinegar and water mix here and the steel wool, and we're just going to apply it like stain. I'm going to use the steel wool and just go over it, and just watch as I do it. As it starts to dry into the wood, it's going to kind of split the grain a little bit, and you'll see it actually start to turn like weathered wood. Especially the lighter plank, that'll take to it real fast. Kind of start to see it already. It's looking like it's going on just like, stain right now, and just kind of, giving it looks like a polyurethane almost, or a clear varnish. And you'll see in a couple of seconds, it's actually starting to happen right here. I'll get the camera a little closer, and you'll see it's starting to get that dark brownish gray look. And all the marks we made with the chains and the threads from the bolts is showing up darker, and it's exactly what we want it to happen. It's really going to bring out the character of this. And obviously what we're going to do afterwards is sand it all down once that really soaks into the wood and gives us that nice rustic finish. Just take a look at the other side that I've done before, and you can actually see how dark it turns once it soaks into the wood, and it's given me that real old style weathered piece of wood. Alright, so basically for the legs I'm using black steel pipe, and it's going to look real modern, yet it's going to have the rustic top. So what we're going to do is I laid out all the pieces here. I have 1/2 inch by 72, I have 2 of those. That's going to be the rails for the front and the back. You can rest your foot on the front, and just a support in the back for the extra leg. 36 inch times 4, 3/4 pipe. 6 inch, actually these are, 8 inch. 4 8-inch steel pipe, which is going to make up another portion of the legs. We have 4 T-fittings, and the T-fittings are going to allow me to connect the legs with the rails. So we're going to use those for the middle there. Then I have 3/4 ground flanges. That's going to make up the feet of the base of the leg. So we got 4 of those. We got 4 1/2 inch, which I'm going to reduce the 3/4 pipe going up into a coupler, and that's going to go into a 2 inch 1/2 inch pipe, and that's going to go into the 1/2 inch flange, and it's going to get screwed into the base of the bar. So that's going to be the top plate, basically, that's going to hold the legs and hold the bar down to the legs to secure everything all together. So I'm going to get everything out of the package here, and then we're going to screw everything together. I've got a pipe wrench on hand just in case something gets a little out of line, and I got to give it a little extra elbow grease. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the 3/4 to 1/2 inch couplers, and I'm just going to get those screwed together. Basically everything's going to be as tight as I can make it by hand. These are going to go into the top plates. They're also going to get screwed into the leg. And I'm going to line everything up next to each other also to make sure that I have them all the same height. This way we can make sure that the bar is going to be level. You know, if you're putting them in by hand, tighten them up by hand, it roughly should all stop in the same spot. So you should get an accurate level adjustment, unless the threads are cut different. But as you go along and you tighten it down, just make sure you line them up.
guys, so this project's complete. We got 3 coats of the polyurethane on there. We sanded 220 in between each. I think he's gonna be real happy with this, all right? So I can't attach the legs to the base right now, so I got it just sitting on there, just to give you a good look at what it's gonna be like when it's a finished product. But all I gotta do is run some screws through the flange, pre-drilled. Maybe I'll use a fixed bit. This way I can self-center all the screws, and then we can install it in his basement. So that's it for this project. We're all done here, and I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you next time.